Shit, I hit the wrong button.
Around, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
All right, welcome to Sim Racing Media. You got Chris Murphy here in the studio with my good buddy Liam Ervig. How you doing, Liam?
Fantastic. I'm excited here to be back with the Western States Racing League. A little bit different of a vibe this week as we're in the Finger Lakes region of New York to do some lefty-righty action at Watkins, Glen. But super stoked to be here, and yeah, we're in for a good show.
Yeah, Watkins Glen, one of my favorite road courses to get on and run around some NASCAR Cup cars. I kind of wish they'd run the long loop on here instead of the short loop. But we'll get a lot of good action here tonight with the Western States Racing League Season 53, week number 5 right now for the Western States Racing League. We've had 4 races, 4 different winners coming into tonight. So first week we raced at Texas. Chad Stearns took the wins. Second week at Dover was Lyle Swearingen. IRP Butch Davis came home with a win. And last week at Iowa, Jacob Jensen just dominated that race at Iowa. 11 seconds, won the race by 11 seconds, lapped all the way up to about the 5th place car in that one. You were there for that one, Liam. Jacob just looked really impressive last week from what I could see.
Yeah, it was just an absolute master class of running the bottom, saving his tires, and he just had the field outclassed all day.
Wrapping up some qualifying here right now. We've got about a minute and a half left to go. Point standings coming into tonight. Your points leader right now, Chris Simard. I did not see Chris logged in for this race. Second in points, Wayne Hutchison. Ryan Steele in third. Bob Beltrami sitting in fourth, and Brian Barnes rounding out the top 5 in the point standings right now. And out of those 5, I see Wayne Hutchison and Bob Beltrami here, and also Brian Barnes. So may see a new points leader coming out after this race today at Watkins Glen. So give us a little overview here, Liam. You've seen these Western States racing guys a lot. Who do you expect to be the master here on the road course?
That is a really good question. Road racing is tough. It's a different skill set, and they don't do a lot of it in the Western States Racing League. I think the Truck Series, you said in the pre-race, has been here 4 times prior, and none of those previous race winners have showed up for this race. So I think it's kind of wide open. The momentum is in the hands of Jacob Jensen. I think Chad Stearns looks pretty good as well. Mainly drivers who have won races at this point this season, I feel, can kind of get up there and show confidence. I'm not sure who the ringers are quite yet, but this is going to be a good example and a good opportunity to learn who is.
Yeah, we're looking right now. Like I just said, wrapping up qualifying. Here's Bentley Glazer right now, wrapping up one of his second lap in qualifying. Right now on the pole is Jacob Jensen with a 1:13.22. Bentley Glazer right there behind him at a 1:13.41. Chad Stearns, Brian Barnes, Bob Beltrami, the top 5 in qualifying right now. Looks like we're going to have about 14 trucks here with us this evening, unless we got a couple stragglers that just showed up. Let's see here. So we get wrapping up qualifying right now. We got about 1 second, so it looks like everybody. Looks like we got a good part of the field didn't even make a lap, so we're going to get gridded up here. Let's see if we can get our. See if we can get our grid showing up here on the. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so on the pole. Coming into the night at Watkins Glen, last week's winner at Iowa, Jacob Jensen on the outside of the front row. A name we see on Tuesday nights and on Wednesday nights here with us, Bentley Glazer on the outside of row number 1.
Chad Stearns starting in third place, your winner from Texas. Got Brian Barnes to his outside.
Bob Beltrami. Bob Beltrami is the owner and operator here at Western States Racing League. Been here about 25 years now. On his outside, second in points coming into tonight, Wayne Hutchison.
Eric Bolton in the 007, starting in 7th with John Kenyon in the 88 NOS Energy truck to his, I think that's technically to the left side. We keep saying inside outside.
Yeah. I guess it would be. Well, I guess we can say inside because they're going to be inside as they hit turn number 1. So starting in 9th position, inside of row number 5 is going to be Julian Ricci. Outside of him is going to be Cody Matthews.
Scott Kukas and Barry Phil make up row number 6.
Row number 7 is going to be James Campbell. And outside him, I really like Wayne Fleet. Number 6, kind of a throwback livery to Mark Martin's days back in the Busch Grand National Series.
And then in the final row, Dustin Burns and Paul Crumray. We'll see if we get everybody gridded up this time. The last couple weeks, we've seen drivers register but not start the race, so won't put all of our eggs in one basket quite yet. But Jacob Jensen on the pole here, just waiting. to roll off, and here we go. It looks like Paul Crumray did not make the start, but everybody else is here. 15 trucks ready to rock and rumble in the Finger Lakes of New York.
So normally when we cover the Western States Racing League, it's mostly oval racing. Like you said earlier, this is kind of rare for them to run on the road courses. Usually these guys are only used to turning right when somebody gets into their left for a quarter. But we'll see who. It looks like Bentley Glazier and Jacob Jensen, kind of the class of the field there in qualifying. Let's see what they can show once we get going green here.
Yeah, and like you said, these guys don't do a whole heck of a lot of road racing. The strategy's completely different in this style of racing. We're not going to see full course caution flags. Probably going to only see one pit stop. These guys are going to have a wide window of when to make that stop. Do you want to make it around halfway and kind of cut your tire stint in half? Do you want to run long and quite possibly get a splash or, spend less time in the pits? Do you want to come in early as soon as that window opens up and just have free track position and clean air? There's a couple of different ways to go about this, and we're going to find out who's got the big brains on the pit box along with the big brawn in the race truck.
I really like this drone shot as we go through the bus stop chicane. I'm still trying to figure out. I need to do some research to why they call it the bus stop. Do you have any idea there, Liam?
Yeah, that's the general motion a bus makes at a bus stop.
That makes sense.
It pulls off to the right, and then it comes back out to the left.
There you go, being logical. All right, we're coming off down this little short chute into the last couple of corners. Lights are out on the pace truck. Jacob Jensen, Bentley Glazier are going to bring us to the green flag. Let's see if we can get a clean run into turn number 1. A couple of more corners left to go. Hands are getting sweaty, getting nervous. Here they go.
Yeah, these guys are going to be on cold tires, getting into a deep braking zone. These might get a little interesting at the start. Couple of good passing zones. That last one we went through, turn 6 is one of them. Getting into turn 1's going to be another. This is the best chance there is in the race to make a pass is at the start here. Green flag is out. Jacob Jensen leads us down into turn 1.
Jacob Jensen with a good start as he come down into turn number 1 here. Gets a jump on Bentley Glazier. Going to take that bottom. We're 3 wide into 1.
Oh,
it looked like
a problem with the 007 going around.
007 Eric Bolton goes around. He kind of drifted up into the corner, caught the right front of Bob Beltrami, turned himself around.
He just went straight to the pits after that.
Yeah, he did. He just reset, said, I'm done. Or getting some repairs. So Jacob Jensen, here's our first chance to see him come through the bus stop under speed. Jacob Jensen, your leader. Bentley Glazier second. Chad Stearns, Brian Barnes, the top 4 right now.
Working through the carousel, it looks like a pretty generous gap for Jacob Jensen over Bentley Glazier. Chad Stearns about a second behind those two, and that's where the fight is. Chad Stearns, he's got Brian Barnes and Bob Beltrami right behind him. Most of these guys getting separated early on. Pretty clean start here for the WSRL.
Yeah.
Only 35 laps to go.
Yeah, a little bit of action there in the first corner, but since then everybody kind of single filed out. The top 10, actually the top 9 all single file together here. Did I see Jensen getting a little bit sideways into 1? It kind of he's going to have to push up the racetrack, chase that truck up. That's going to let Bentley Glazier close in a little bit on him here.
Now remember, you are allowed to use that bit of asphalt on the outside of the rumble strip coming up off of turn 1. I believe coming off of turn number 6, you are as well. So you see the top 5 getting a decent jump away from the next 4. That's Cody Matthews in 6th place in the 10 truck. He's under fire from a lot of guys you can see here through the bus stop. Wayne Hutchison started this race in 6th place. He's fallen back to 9th after a not-so-good first lap.
I didn't see, was he maybe involved in that first little incident down there with Eric Bolton and Bob Beltrami? I didn't see.
Well, now might be a good time to take a look. We can see what happened to Wayne, see what happened to the 007.
So we can go back and get a look at this start. Watch Eric Bolton come down into turn one. He takes a look.
Oh,
He
yeah.
tries to kind of force his way in there, locks it up. Yeah, definitely Wayne Hutchison right there got collected in that. So Bolton spun around. Hutchison had to slow down, and that's what cost him that 3 spots there early on in that first lap.
And wasn't an ideal spot for him to be in there. He was able to keep his nose off of the 007 spinning across. You also saw the 13 and the 242 going around. James Campbell and Scott Kukas were both able to drive away. Wayne Fleet in the 6 also has had a problem.
Looks like
He's fallen a little bit off of the lead here a bit.
Wayne Fleet
Oh.
looks like he pulled off the track here. I'm not sure.
He's got smoke coming out of that. That's
Did
terminal.
he blow it up?
He blew it up somehow.
Do we have a quick repair in this league?
No, we don't.
Let's see if we can go back and look here. Yeah, you can see Wayne Fleet here. Comes off of turn 1. He's just coasting through the second turn here. You can see the smoke coming out of the back of that truck. So it looks like Wayne Fleet may be done for the day.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that he money shifted it, potentially going from 3rd and then back into 2nd while he's trying to go for 4th. We've done that a time or two, and remember Dale Jr. did it at Pocono.
Yeah, that's never a good thing when you short shift it like that. Over rev the motor. That is going to put Wayne Fleet out of this one. Yeah, he's done. So,
Oh, Beltrami goes around coming out of the S's. Contact with the wall.
hits that inside wall coming off of turn number 2 to that S section. Let's see if we can go back here and catch a look at it and see what happened. He just gets in a little bit hot here. Well, truck just broke loose on him. Oh, he tried to catch it. Truck just broke loose on him. He overcorrected just a little bit, and it snapped around on him. And he catches that inside fence down there, so a little bit of damage there from Beltrami.
And that is easy to do, and that's an easy spot to do it in. Not this way that Bob Beltrami wanted his race to start here. He's back 5 spots into 10th place.
Take a look back up here at the leaders. We had a bunch of action going on, so we haven't been up here very much, but Bentley Glazier and Jacob Jensen here separated themselves from the field about a second and a half. Jensen looking really good, well, he's got that truck really loose. You can almost see him get sideways as he gets into the corner right there. And we'll see how he does down here through the bus stop.
And last time around, the top 3 were within 1/10 of a second on their lap times. You see, looks like Bentley Glazer tried to close in just a little bit. He had a good bus stop compared to Jacob Jensen. Jensen's now going to get himself a little bit of a run behind that tree. Bentley Glazer has a good exit on the corner, though. Turn 6 is a really good passing zone, but I don't think he's close enough to set that one up there, no.
Head down through
Closing in, though, he's within 4/10.
Come off the last corner here to start lap number 6. Jensen still out in the lead, but Glazer is right there with him. Any slight mistake from Jensen, Glazer is going to capitalize. He's just kind of staying right there in his tire tracks, just hoping for a mistake. Not an easy track to pass on, but Glazer's got a good run here through the forced corner, so let's see if he can stay here with him. Up here through the S's and down this little back straightaway.
You can see 2 completely different ways of attacking turn 1 there. Glazer a little bit sideways through the S's. 2 completely different ways of attacking the corner. Jacob Jensen went in deep and shallow. Well, he went in shallow but fast, whereas Bentley Glazer stayed all the way to the right, tried to get all of his braking done and shorten that. Kind of close off the angle before going over the curbs.
Heading down here through the carousel. Bentley Glazer closing right up on the back bumper of Jacob Jensen. Chases him off at turn number 5 down into turn number 6. He is right there. Glazer is looking a little more consistent than Jacob Jensen right now. Jacob Jensen's probably driving more in the mirror than he is out the front, just trying to hold Glazer back. We're going to come around to start lap number 7.
Very shallow exit for Bentley Glazer coming out of the final corner there. It allowed Jacob Jensen to get a nice Nice, good run down the front straightaway. Chad Stearns sending it into turn one.
Hey, he had that truck sideways, doing a little dirt track in there. Chad Stearns trying to make
Yeah,
up some ground.
I think some of those tire marks in there were his, and he was the fastest truck on track that last time around. Try to close in on these race leaders.
He's making up some ground. I think Jensen actually might be holding Glazer back just a little bit, and Stearns is capitalizing. And actually, right back there in fourth, we see Brian Barnes also making up some ground. So we might have a 4-truck battle here for the lead before this is over with.
It's definitely possible. Jensen comes up out of the carousel once again. Chad Stearns, he's putting something together right now. He's closing in on these top two, and you got to wonder if Bentley Glazer is just content hanging out in second place behind the 64, kind of seeing him slip slide around and knowing that those shallow exits and wider entries kind of better on the tires than what the 64 is doing. I don't think he's necessarily being held up. You got to be a little closer to be considered held up.
Well, I haven't driven the trucks on this track in a long, long time. How's the air going to affect these trucks on this road course like this, where you don't have a lot of high speed, but I know these trucks poke a big hole in the air and kind of get a little turbulent. Is that going to upset that second place truck of Glazer right there behind Jensen?
I mean, a little bit, not as much as say a Cup car would, but I think this track is just kind of set up in a way that the air doesn't affect these guys too much. I mean, you'll be able to see these guys get right up close to each other if they wanted to.
Jensen's still your leader. He's led every lap so far on lap number 8. So we head down into turn number 6. We'll be starting in lap number 9. Jensen, Bentley Glazer, Chad Stearns, Brian Barnes, Cody Matthews, Wayne Hutchison, Julian Ricci, John Kenyon, Barry Philbeck in 9th, and Dustin Burns rounding out the top 10 right now. Western States Racing League. Sim Racing Media in the booth here with Chris Murphy and Liam Erbig. Sim Racing, Western States Racing League Season 53, race number 5 here at Watkins Glen. We're gonna have a show here. I think Bentley Glazer and Jacob Jensen are gonna give us a race all night long here. We've got 9 laps, 8 laps down, 28 to go.
And now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best road racer. I'm mainly an oval guy. And so I wonder if these guys are kind of facing what I face, in the sense of, you get to learn a track, you get confident with your brake markers, but you kind of lose sense of where that is. As John Kenyon has had himself an issue. You kind of lose sense of where that is the closer you get to somebody else. They've got a big hole that they're punching through the air. They're not even punching through the air, that they're putting up a big billboard in front of your windscreen. So
yeah, when you get really close,
it does.
Yeah, we can go in the cockpit here. We'll go in the cockpit here with Bentley Glazer and see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be crazy tough at this point, but the closer he gets to that back bumper,
you start getting close up behind a guy, you get a little worried about, you want to brake a little bit early so you don't run him over, but then you're also sometimes could go a little too deep because you're more concentrated on the back of their truck and you miss your braking point like you're saying. So right now, Glazer doing a good job of following Jensen around. I know me as an old dirt track guy, I tend to overdrive these corners something horribly. Just driving way too deep and it loses all my momentum off the corner. So, but these guys are doing a really good job here, especially this top 3, top 4 drivers.
And it really seems like Bentley Glazer's trying to utilize that run coming up off of the corners, and that's why he's taking those wider entries, getting the shallower exits. It's easier on the tires, definitely, but Chad Stearns got a good bus stop there. Bentley Glazer closing back in on the back bumper at Jacob Jensen. It's been right around half a second this whole time, Chris. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed just at the parity that these guys are showing. They're trading laps back and forth, and this time around, Chad Stearns was once again the quickest car on the track. Yeah,
top 4 have really separated from the rest of the field. It's about half a second from Jensen back to Glazer. Chad Stearns another couple seconds back. Brian Barnes are back about 4, and then it's 20 seconds back all the way to Wayne Hutchison back there in 5th. So right now it looks like this top 4 is going to come down to one of these drivers here for the win, and probably top four. These four drivers see who's going to be on the podium at this point.
Wayne Hutchison, after the bad start, was able to get himself up into the top 5. Unfortunately, he is 16 seconds behind 4th place. He's got himself 8 seconds on Julian Ritchie in 6th, so this might end up being a little bit boring of a day for Wayne. Kind of stuck on that island with drivers now 17 seconds in front of him.
Yeah, he's just right there in the middle, just having a Sunday drive. Just wants to get out here and complete. He is second in points right now behind Chris Samard, and Chris is not here, so Wayne just wants a good run, take over that point lead. And we watch coming off that corner right there again through the carousel. Jacob Jensen a little bit sideways off, but Glazer not able to capitalize.
Not quite yet, but the more you see that, the more susceptible he's going to be to sliding those rear tires. And you're going to need those later on in this run. We're 11 laps in. Still not sure what guys are thinking strategy-wise, but I will say the fuel window is open. If you want to make it from here, you can. However, that would mean putting 25 laps on your tires. Some guys might want to split it a little bit more in half, as you see Jensen getting a little sideways over that rumble strip again. He's got himself a gap over Bentley Glazer, though. He's up to almost a second.
So Scott Kukas finds himself in the pits. It looks like a little bit of damage on that right front of that truck, and some smoke coming out from under the hood. So it looks like maybe Kukas might be their third truck done for the day here.
Yeah, it looks like he went off track for...
We'll go back and take a look and see what
happened
happened
for a
here.
little bit, and jumped to the pits.
So here's Kukas in that 242 coming off the last corner. Actually loses it off the last. Oh, he hits that inside pit wall hard.
Ouch.
That is going to end the day for Scott Kukas. So we are 3 trucks down, started with 15, and we are down to 12. We get looking back up here at the leaders.
Now this time by Bentley Glazer was a couple tenths quicker.
I think Bentley's a little bit faster than Jacob Breger. I think he's just being patient. I've covered quite a few races with Bentley, and I've seen him do this before. He's not really going to force the issue, but maybe he's lagging back. I think he's got a little bit more than he's showing us right now.
I think you might be right, and I think the whole top 4 is kind of almost about in the same boat. These guys are running fairly similar lap times within 3 or 4 tenths of each other. But as we get later and later in this run, this is where the top 2 are really going to separate themselves from the rest, depending on how they've done saving their tires.
Yeah, we'll see who can get in and out of the pits. I'm sure we're going to see pit stops. I'm guessing somewhere before lap 20. Maybe these guys are going to split this race in half since there's no caution flags.
Yeah, these guys have fallen off about a second from their best lap that most of them put up on the 2nd or 3rd lap of this race. So I don't know if staying out as long as you can and trying to spend less time on pit road is going to be the call. You're going to want to take 4 tires.
Yeah, I did not take a look at the weather before this race started, but we're looking right now at a track temperature of about 95 degrees. So that's going to get a lot of heat in these tires. Watkins Glens, I don't know, you ran quite a few more races here, Liam. Is it pretty hard on the tires? Is it going to wear it out with that heat, you think?
It used to be a lot worse. They repaved it a couple of years ago, and it's a bit better, but... Oh, a little bit of a... Was that a bit of... Wheel lock. Wheel hop. Couldn't think of the term there, but Jacob Jensen definitely had it getting into the bus stop. That thing jerked sideways, and I thought he might have been headed towards the wall.
He's got a little bit of rear brake dialed into that thing. You can see it when he got on the brakes real hard. But what's crazy there is, Bentley didn't really make up a lot of ground on him after that mistake. Still about 6 or 7 truck lanes back from him.
And that brake bias is a really important tool in these road races especially. You can attack corners a lot harder if you've got rear brake in it. The only problem with that is that too much rear brake, you're going to lock up those rear tires. You're either going to get wheel hop, or it's just going to lock entirely, and that's going to send you sideways probably backwards.
Yeah, and you know, many times as we've seen Jensen kind of get into these corners a little bit sideways, I'm wondering if he doesn't have a lot of rear brake dialed into this truck. You know, the loose is fast, and you can see that with Jacob right now. As he's starting to pull away now from Glazer, almost a second.
Yeah, he had himself a really good turn one, a really good set of corners through the S's. Able to gap Bentley Glazer by a couple tenths there.
Through the bus stop chicane down into the carousel. Jacob
And
Jensen
he's
still
really
in front.
he is kicking it in there. You see him get sideways on entry into the carousel. He is really letting it hang.
Yeah, he is driving the wheels off that truck today. Let's see if we can jump in the cockpit here with him as he gets down into the corner. Coming down to the last corner here, turn number 7 down the front straightaway. You see him right down there on the bottom, right down on the berm. Making a good run down the front straightaway into turn number 1 to start lap number 17. Or lap 16, sorry. And you can see him right there. Just he comes off the corner just a little bit. He has to correct back to the right. Actually to the left there because it's a right-hand corner. But he's got to kind of gather the truck up. They got a little bit loose on him getting in.
Yeah, he just put down a monster lap that last time around, a 1:14.36. Bentley Glazer with a 1:14.94.
Yeah.
That gap is increasing between first and second, and that's exactly what Jacob Jensen wants to see. Maybe not this lap truck in front of him, but should be able to dispose of him fairly quickly. That being the 04 of Dustin Burns.
It looks like James Campbell might have crashed here. We're going to jump back to it. Oh, he just spun it right down the middle of the front straightaway, getting down into turn number 1. I'm not sure how he did that. So James Campbell, our latest victim here at Watkins Glen. It looks like we have, what is it? 12 trucks left in the race, 9 on the lead lap right now. Dustin Burns just went a lap down in the 04. Jacob Jensen still in front. Bentley Glazer, we are... Let me get back to live time here. There we go. Jacob Jensen still out in front. He's led every single lap. We're on lap 17. Back down through the bus stop one more time.
Barry Phil just in front of your race leader. He's going to get in the way just a little bit. Checked him up quite a bit. Going to cost him a couple tenths. Bentley Glazer has to go wide to get around him as well.
Yeah, not a great place for Glazer to catch him right there in the middle of the carousel. Had to go out wide, cost him some time.
Yeah, it cost him almost everything that he gained on Jensen coming out of the bus stop. Gotta let Chad Stearns close in a little bit. He's within 4 seconds of the race lead. 3.5 back to Chad Stearns from Jacob Jensen.
So we are halfway.
Brian Barnes hasn't let him get too far off. He's just under 3 seconds behind Chad Stearns. As everybody gets around the 98 of Barry Phil. Dustin Burns comes into the pits. He is a lap down, but he may be the first to try this strategy.
Yeah, here we're on lap 17. So I think Dustin's going to try to split this race directly in half. And let's see what our leaders decide to do. Is we're going to come around here through the bus stop one more time down through the carousel. As they're coming to complete the halfway mark here. Lap 17, 19 to go. Jacob Jensen's led every single lap. And he's had Bentley Glazer right there behind him, but this is the biggest gap he's had so far, almost 2 seconds. Back to Glazer now. Jensen hoping to make it back-to-back here at the Western States Racing League.
I think they're coming in. These guys are pushing. I'm guessing they're pushing for in-laps.
It looks like Jensen's going to go around one more time.
Well, I was entirely wrong. 18 laps complete.
All we can do is guess when we don't have any audio telling us what to do, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I saw both of those guys putting the pedal to the metal coming out of the carousel, and I absolutely thought these guys were pushing for in laps.
Glacier got really sideways there. That let Stearns making up some ground on Bentley Glacier right now.
Glacier might be at risk of losing the second spot to Chad Stearns.
Looking back here, Chad Stearns he had a race won earlier this year, I thought, and had a technical issue, knocked him out of the race. But he's going to need some help here if he's going to run down Jacob Jensen right now. Maybe if he can get a little bit better pit stop. Jensen looks to be the class of the field right now, but Glacier and Stearns are not letting him out of their sight either.
They're trying not to, but with that gap to the leader over 2 seconds now you got to start thinking pit strategy might be the way to get around him. You know, who's going to be the first to make this pit stop? Are you going to try the undercut, get a couple of laps at optimal time, and hopefully manage that gap that way? Because it's starting to become evident on these older tires, Jacob Jensen knows where it's at, and Bentley Glacier is starting to struggle with those rears.
All right,
that might come into what you were talking about earlier with the air coming off of these trucks. It might have just done enough to heat up those tires for Bentley Glacier and have him use the rear a little bit more.
Yeah, he was hanging on right to the back of Jensen, but he's definitely falling back into the clutches of Chad Stearns right now.
And it could also be a situation of just the way that he's been driving and entering the corners. He's using different tires at different times than 64 of Jacob Jensen.
All right, we're a little over halfway through this race. Just getting ready to start lap number 21 of 36. The bosses tell us we got to at least get one commercial break in, so we're going to do that real quick. Just take a couple minutes here, take a quick commercial.
Oh, no, we can't. Jacob Jensen's coming into the pits.
They're all coming into the pits.
So is Bentley Glacier and Chad Stearns. Stearns gets into the guardrail just a touch on entry, trying to get everything he can. Brian Barnes going to stay out this time around. Going to be the first driver to lead a lap other than Jacob Jensen. The top three all come in.
Jacob Jensen, Bentley Glacier, Chad Stearns all in the pits to see who can get out of here first. We'll keep an eye on this. Brian Barnes handed the lead right there. I'm not so sure if that was a good... I mean, I don't know what he was hoping for there. If maybe he can get a clean lap, make up some ground, but he's going to go around one more time with Jensen, Glacier, and Stearns all in the pits. Jensen with a good stop. He gets out. He might have even gained some ground right there.
Yeah, that was about as perfect as you can do a pit stop. Bentley Glacier got a pretty good stop as well, but he was spinning those tires getting out of the pits. Chad Stearns going to lose a little bit of time to Bentley Glacier as well. Now the gap between between Jensen and Glacier is just under 3 seconds, so that stayed about the same.
They gained a little bit of ground, but not much. So right now, Jensen, Glacier, Stearns, I think that's our fight for the lead right now. But out in front here, Brian Barnes is going to dive down into the pit. So he went out, led one lap. He's going to come down to the pits. That may just hand Wayne Hutchison the lead, unless Wayne also decides to dive down in as well. And you can see Wayne Hutchison has the lead right now, but he hasn't pitted, and Jensen's actually right there behind him, only about 7 or 8 truck lengths behind him right now.
Technically, Barnes hasn't lost the lead quite yet. But I don't think Wayne Hutchison is going to have enough time to lead a lap.
There's Barnes sitting in the pits. Hutchison kind of blinking in and out of there on my screen. Jensen now right on his back bumper. I think we're going to see Jensen drive around him. Going to go look to the outside, coming up into the S's.
This is a tough spot to make a pass, but you got to do it where you got to do it. You can't risk staying behind him. Letting Bentley Glacier close in on you.
Great
new race leader, Jacob Jensen, once again.
Great move there by Jensen. He got to the outside, entering the S's. He knew he was going to have the inside once they got to the second part of that S's, and just a good move there on Hutchison to gain the lead back. And Wayne still has to pit here, so Starting to feel like this race, we got about 15 laps left to go. Starting to feel like this is Jensen's race for sure. If he doesn't make any mistakes, Glazier and Stearns are trying to hang on. But Jensen now over 2 seconds ahead of Bentley Glazier back there in second.
Yeah, if Glazer's going to be able to make a run at him, he's going to have to try to close in quick and get around him quick. Because the tail end of that last run did not look too great for Bentley. Granted, he's going to have less time on these tires than the first run, but yeah, I guess we got to do what we got to do.
So Jacob Jensen, Bentley Glazier, Chad Stearns, Brian Barnes, Wayne Hutchison, your top 5 here. Watkins, Glen, Western States Racing League, Sim Racing Media. I'm Chris Murphy with my good buddy Liam Ervig. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to keep an eye on the action. If something happens, we'll jump back over, so we'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Chris Murphy, Liam Ervig, Western States Racing League. You're here with Sim Racing Media. Week number 5 of season 53. Jacob Jensen putting on a show right now. He won last week at Iowa. He's looking to back it up with another one here at Watkins Glen.
While we were on break, we had a couple of incidents. John Kenyon had himself a little incident, and I believe Barry Phil has actually just had himself an incident as well. We'll take a look at both of those.
Go back, take a look at John Kenyon.
Getting into the bus stop here.
He just loses it getting in there. Truck just snapped around on him entering the bus stop. He goes around. We'll jump over and take a look at what happened to Barry Phil as well.
That looks like it might be the same situation.
Exact same situation, exact same place. Something on the racetrack there, reaching up and grabbing these drivers. Maybe just a little.
Tough spot.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit too much rear brake. You get down there a little bit hot, hit that brake a little too hard, and it just snaps the truck around.
10 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Bentley Glazer has been doing his best. These guys are just trading laps back and forth. You know, it'll be a 10th going Glazer's way, a 10th going Jensen's way. Every once in a while, Chad Stearns will get in there and beat them both. But in terms of the gaps, they're staying relatively stagnant. At about 2.5, 2.25 to 2.5 between first and second. Between 1 and 1.5 for second and third. Brian Barnes about 7 or 8 seconds off of the race lead in fourth place. He's starting to put down some really quick times too, but I think with the gap he's got all the way back to, or all the way up to Chad Stearns, it's going to be tough for him to make any new spots. He's got 40 seconds back to Wayne Hutchison, who runs in fifth. Bentley Glazer had himself a little bit of a moment there. Quite possibly has to slow down for an off track.
Yeah, Brian Barnes, like you said, almost 50 seconds now back to Wayne Hutchison. He could almost pull over in the bus stop, have a picnic, and still hold on to that fourth place. So I think Brian's pretty secure right there. I was looking up the lap time, the gap here just a minute ago. Bentley Glazer had closed it within 2 seconds of Jacob Jensen, but now Jensen's starting to spread it back out again. It's looking like it's going to come down between these two drivers. Glazer's about the only one that has any opportunity with only 9 laps left to go. Can he reel in Jensen at this point? Starting to look a little unlikely.
Chad Stearns has been the fastest truck on the racetrack these last 2 laps around. That time by, he was 2/10 quicker than the 2/10 quicker than the race leader and half a second quicker than Bentley Glazer. He's going to have to get real close to Bentley if he's going to try to make a move, but currently putting down some hot laps. If he wants a chance at this race win, he's going to have to get around that 87 sooner rather than later.
And you see Stearns has made up some ground. He's only about 3 truck lengths behind Bentley Glazer right now. If he can find a way around, like you said, he's been the fastest truck on the racetrack. If he can get around Glazer pretty quickly, he might have a chance to run Jensen down. But he looks like he might be the only one that has the pace to do it. But he's got to get some clean air and get in front of Bentley Glazer really quick with only 8 laps left.
If he can set up a good run here through the S's, he might be able to get him into the bus stop. It's a tough passing zone. And if there is anywhere that you're going to feel any aero effect, it is definitely going to be through those S's going up over that hill. That lack of downforce is really going to upset the car as Jacob Jensen gets right up next to that wall. Bentley Glazer even closer. Chad Stearns not close enough to make the move into that corner. He's got another passing opportunity into 6, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get close enough. Otherwise, he's going to have to try it again into 1.
I got the lap truck of Julian Ricci here to contend with. I don't think Julian's going to give him much of a problem. He's sitting back there in 6, so we are only 5 trucks left on the lead lap right now as they just put Julian Ricci a lap down.
Kind of a similar story to last week. Jacob Jensen just putting on a clinic. Gets everybody but the top 5 a lap down. And well, that's the situation he's got here with 7 to go. Is he going to get close enough to Wayne to...
Oh, Ricci goes around.
Oh!
Right in front of our second. Hit the brakes. Oh. Oh. Ricci just kind of let that truck roll down the hill a little bit. One of the things I learned right off the bat when I started racing is if you get sideways, hold that car right where you are. Give your drivers around you a chance somewhere to go. Ricci here goes down into 1, and it looks like truck just snapped around a little bit, rear brake there again. And he kind of lets that truck start to roll down the hill. He almost collected our 3rd place truck of Chad Stearns, but Chad was able to squeeze by. We should take a look at the in-car of Chad Stearns and see what that looked like here. Let's see here. You can see Ricci right there in front of him. Oh, that was close. That was close. I think Stearns puckered just a little bit as he went through there. We'll jump back over to live time here. And we're going to try to. There we go. All right, back up here out in the front. Yeah, that was a close call right there for Chad Stearns. He made up some ground on Bentley Glazier. Almost got collected by that spinning truck of Julian Ricci. As that's going to be our battle right here for second and third. 6 laps left to go. Jacob Jensen now about almost 4 seconds out in front of these two. So this is our best battle we have on the racetrack right now. Bentley Glazier in second. Chad Stearns here in third. 6 laps left to go. Let's see if he can do anything.
I think this is where Chad's going to do it. He's going to... Oh, he's going to stay in line with them. That was about as close as he's gotten. He was right up on that rear bumper.
See what he does heading down through the carousel here right now. You can see Glazier not able to hold that bottom line near as well as Stearns did. And as they come out of the carousel right there, Glazier a little bit loose out over the rumble strips. Chad Stearns all over the back of him right now.
Glazier a little bit sideways, coming out of 6, coming through 7. Stearns, he's got a run coming up off of the corner. Is he gonna... Well, maybe not so much of a run. He's not going to be close enough going into 1. Jacob Jensen's going to get around the lapped truck of John Kenyon.
Back here in the cockpit with Chad Stearns, you can see him just driving that truck. And you can see Glazier right there in front of him. Just about every corner, you can see Glazier getting a little bit sideways. He is pushing that truck for all it's worth, just trying to get a gap here on Chad Stearns.
Yeah, Chad is fighting his truck too. You can see him on the exit of turn 3 there, the S's. Now a little bit more of a gap between him and Bentley Glazier down from the back straightaway. Jacob Jensen, he's out to about a 3-second lead with 5 laps to go. Chad Stearns trying to close in on Bentley Glazier, though. He keeps getting close. It's just not in a good opportunity to pass. This could be a better one, though. Sitting up down the front straightaway, if he can just close in between these last final corners.
Lap truck of Dustin Burns right there in front of him as well. Come off the last corner here, come to cross the stripe. Going to be 4 laps left to go. He's got a good run on him right here down into 1. Let's see if he can make it work into turn number 1. Chad Stearns all over the back of Bentley Glazier.
No, he doesn't do it.
No, but he's even closer right there. As they come off the corner, going to head up into the S's. Here's our leader, Jacob Jensen. They got the lap truck there, Dustin Burns right there between them. Glazier and Stearns coming up through here. Stearns putting as much pressure on Glazier as he can, trying to get a mistake. That's John Kenyon in front of us. I'm sorry, that's not Dustin Burns. That's the 88 of John Kenyon there as they're putting another lap down. As they head up into the bus stop.
That's going to compromise Stearns' entry. You know he doesn't want to enter in on the inside. And almost got clipped by John Kenyon running wide there.
And you can see he lost a lot of ground there on Glazier. He was right up on the back of him. But he is now about a second back. Once again, the lap truck comes into play just a little bit there.
Yeah, both of those guys got held up by the lap truck and cost them both a little bit of time to the race leader, but Chad Stearns going to have 3 more laps to try to chase down Bentley Glazier. Jacob Jensen, he's going to see the checkers in about 3. He's hoping that he's the first one.
Jacob Jensen looking to be the first 2-time winner for season 53 here. Western States Racing Leagues. He won last week at Iowa. Bentley Glazier with a handful of truck right there. Off the corner, last couple of corners got real loose there. Chad Stearns able to reel him back in. 3 laps left to go. I think we're going to see Chad Stearns close up on the back of Bentley Glazier before we get to the carousel. Let's see if he can find a way around. Heck, he's going to close up on him before we get to the bus stop.
Yeah, it just seems like late in these runs, the 87 starts sliding around like he's on ice.
He's got his hands full. He's used up all the tires on that truck right now. Just doing a heck of a good job fighting. I'm assuming Bentley Glazer's maybe got a little dirt track experience. You see him get into the corner right there, gets the truck a little bit sideways, but able to hang on to as we come into the last corner. Going to start lap number 34. 2 laps left to go. Jacob Jensen still out in front. Bentley Glazer, Chad Stearns here fighting it out for second. Brian Barnes, Wayne Hutchison round out the top 5 right now. Oh, both get loose going into one.
A little bit of wheel lock there. Not what you want, especially this late in the race. It's tough to hold out of these things when the tires are so hot and greasy. 2 laps for Jacob Jensen, 2 laps for these two to fight it out. 4 seconds off of the race lead.
It's almost like
play any factor in that.
It's almost like Chad Stearns was up so close up underneath the back of Glazer right there that it kind of lifted the front of the nose of the truck. Didn't have a lot of air on it. They head back through the bus stop for one more time. As we're going to come around here to take the white flag. Jacob Jensen still out in front. Our battles for second here. Stearns now looking up underneath Glazer as they come off out of the carousel. Glazer struggled getting off the corner here, but he's able to get off pretty clean right there this time.
Yeah, Chad's struggling too with those rears, but seems to be able to get the power down just a little bit better than the 87. We're coming to the white flag though. Jacob Jensen just one more time around.
One more lap to go for Jacob Jensen. Going to take win number 2 of season 53 of the Western States. Chad Stearns got one more chance to take a look on a Bentley Glazer. He locks it up.
Oh, he gets in the grass.
Locked it up, getting into turn number 1. That might have been his shot right there. He drifted it wide through the corner. That let Glazer get away.
I'm not sure if he was trying to set up the move on the outside, but touches the grass, and there is no grip there. There's Barry Phil getting out of the way.
I think Chad might have thought he had a little enough of a run to get down to the inside, but Glazer did a good job of covering off the bottom. Forced Chad to go to the outside, and locked it up. That may have given Glazer second place right here.
But up front, it is all Jacob Jensen. Just 2 more corners to go to get his second consecutive win on the season. Really make a statement in these last 2 weeks. He goes through 6. He's been virtually flawless all day. He was virtually flawless last week. He's going to come off of turn number 7 to take the checkered flag and become the first 2-time winner of season 53. Jacob Jensen gets it done in the Glen.
I mean, Bentley Glazer coming home in second. Chad Stearns going to have to settle for third. Brian Barnes going to come across the line in fourth. And then we've got to wait for about 50 seconds to get back to our 5th place truck of Wayne Hutchison. You can see the leaders go across the finish line. Here's Wayne Hutchison right now just going through the bus stop. Back to 5th here. Wayne Hutchison 6th and Julian Ritchie. But Wayne's going to come home in 5th, but I think he's going to come out of this race with the points lead. As he heads down out of the carousel, down to the last couple of corners. Here's our leader making his victory lap, Jacob Jensen. And we'll jump back over to Wayne Hutchison. As he comes off the last corner, going to come across the line in 5th. I think we've only got 9 trucks left on the racetrack right now. 6th place is going to be Julian Ricci. He's parked on the racetrack. 8th is going to be, let's see, we'll just see if we can pull up the results here for us. How's that?
You still got to wait on a couple of trucks to finish.
We got Dustin Burns here.
Dustin Burns will be 7th. John Kenyon in 8th. And Bob Beltrami, I believe he's already finished the race in 9th.
And he runs over. We just catch him going over the cut.
He's done.
I think he's done now for sure.
Yeah,
So
he's finished up.
our winner's going to be Jacob Jensen. Just another dominating performance from Jacob. Won the race last week at Iowa. Comes back here at Watkins Glen.
And he gets to burn it down.
All right, we've got Jacob in the waiting room. We'll bring him over here, Liam, for you. Give you a chance to interview our only 2-time winner so far in the Western States Racing League.
Hey, Jacob, it's Liam and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys. How you doing?
Man, that was a clinic you put on 2 weeks in a row. You start on pole and you just drive away from these guys. You think it's going to pass Tech?
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna pass Tech.
Oh, man, you've put together an amazing couple of weeks. What kind of statement are you making here in terms of the championship moving forward?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that I can be a contender, but we'll see what happens. It's really hard racing with these guys. These guys are really talented, so if I am a championship contender, it's not gonna come easy.
Yeah, you threw together the perfect strategy, the perfect drive. I don't think you put a wheel wrong all race. How did you get so good at this track?
Well, that's a great question. I didn't actually have that much practice before the race, so I don't really know. I just kind of felt good apparently. I do a lot of racing in the Xfinity car around here, but that's about it.
Well, you threw together a phenomenal race. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for such a strong performance again this week?
Well, I want to thank the good Lord. I want to thank the team at Cabby Performance, my mom, my dad, my brother. Both of my grandparents are probably watching this, so I want to say thank you to them. I want to thank my friends. I want to thank Bob, and I want to thank you guys for putting the show together.
Well, awesome stuff, Jacob. You are the only two-time winner on the season so far, so enjoy that. We'll see what happens next week.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right, that was Jacob Jensen, our race winner. We don't looking up at the waiting room. I don't see anybody else in there. Don't see our second or third place finishers tonight. So we're gonna see if we can pull up the final result here. Let's see. Not loading up for me for some reason. So we'll just read it off. Your race winner, Jacob Jensen, just in here talking with us a minute ago with Liam. Second place is going to be Bentley Glazier. Chad Stearns coming home in third. I thought Chad probably had one of the better trucks there at the end, but got kind of caught with that lap truck. Back and forth, Brian Barnes rounding out the top five is going to be Wayne Hutchison. Sixth place, Julian Ricci. Seventh, Dustin Burns. Eight, John Kenyon. Ninth, Bob Beltrami. I'm sorry, but Bob was the last car on the racetrack. We started out with 15. We ended with 9. Barry Phil going to be finishing in 10th position. James Campbell, Cody Matthews, Scott Kukas, Wayne Fleet, and Eric Bolton, who went out on lap number 1. That is our 15 trucks that started the race. Another great race here with you, Liam. Jacob just, nobody really had anything for him there. That's 2 weeks in a row now. He has put on a dominating performance.
Yeah, really impressive stuff out of that 64 camp. I know he's excited on this run that he's on, and it's definitely a momentum shift from the first 3 weeks. These guys are just going to take this high and ride it as far as they can.
Let's see, where are they?
We're in Richmond next week.
I was just getting ready to pull that up. Thank you for that. So Richmond, another short track next week. A lot of short tracks here running with kind of a thrown in this Watkins, the road course here in the middle of it. But we go to Richmond next week, and then the following week, one of my favorites, we're at Daytona. So we'll come back next week. So once again, this is Chris Murphy, Liam Ervig here in the booth. Western States Racing League Season 53. We are with Sim Racing Media. If you if you like what you saw tonight, please hit that subscribe button. If you got a racing league of your own, you're looking for some coverage, looking for some broadcasters, we've got a good field of guys out there. Some broadcaster producers going to do everything we can to bring you a good show for your league. So reach out to us at simracingmedia.com. And we really appreciate you being here with us tonight, and we will see you again next week.